Hey folks, John Cantera, the Double Broker Bounty Hunter here. Welcome to another episode of Tic Toc Diner. Before we get things rolling, it is Tuesday, so we're going to go ahead and do the diesel numbers real quick. So let's get started with today's Task Force Minute. For the Freight Fraud Task Force, the Lounge Media Group presents the Task Force Minute, hosted by the Double Broker Bounty Hunter, John Cantera. Well, I don't know who could have predicted this other than a trained economist such as myself, since we are still dealing with the unending issues that are taking place across the Middle East. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, I was right. The fuel index, the diesel fuel index for the U.S. average has increased yet again, not by 10 cents, not by 15 cents, but by 20 cents a gallon. The new U.S. diesel index price is $5.65.2. The current record for the highest index rate is $5.81, which took place back in June of 2022. So if we have another week like this week, we will break the U.S. record. Consequently, for those of you in California, the California numbers themselves, the California region numbers, are currently at 704, which was higher than the 2022 peak, which at that number was 701, and the highest the California was 745 back in April of this year. So you guys in California, you are getting screwed like usual. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your Task Force Minute. If I can get this video to... This has been another Task Force Minute. Be sure to like and subscribe on all of our social media. And whatever you do, don't let scammers take you for a ride. We're calling an audible today. I was going to have Amy Kirn hang out with us to talk more about dispatching. She appeared as a guest on my morning show called Do You Even Freight on Kiss This Media. Be sure to check that out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. That has been a hoot. That's myself, Shimmy Munson, and Kevin Bullock. We hang out, we talk trucking, we go over the latest news, but be sure to check that out at Kiss This Media. That's on the website, kissthismedia.com, or on the YouTube at Kiss This Media, or also on LinkedIn for the Kiss This Media's page. So be sure to check that out. With that being said, I want to go ahead and bring up our guests for the show, which is kind of like, we got Amy coming, but we're bringing on a couple other ladies to hang out with us. So we're calling it Ladies' Day here at the diner. So please grab a menu, have a seat. Your server's going to be right with you. For the Freight Fraud Task Force, the Lounge Media Group presents the Tic Toc Diner podcast, serving up freight fraud with a side of prevention. Here is your host, the Double Broker Bounty Hunter, John Cantera. It is another Tuesday. We survived Monday, ladies. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm happy. We survived Monday. We've got plenty of stuff going on. But we had a fun conversation yesterday talking about dispatch services and the good and bad behind them. So originally, Amy and I were talking about continuing that discussion, but we know that's not water, Michelle. We know that's not water.
It's Blitz Week. I might have made it Monday, John.
I've actually got real stuff sitting here, okay, and I'm not going to sit here and hide it, okay? Because I can tell you, I need it this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anywho,
it's always fun dealing with Blitz Week.
I love Blitz Weeks. I really do, because capacity sucks. And Michelle, you were sharing with us that there are some people at your company right now who don't believe that Blitz Week causes a drop in capacity. Ladies, what do you think?
Well, I don't.
I know
inspection. Go ahead, Jennifer.
I was going to say, where trucks can't pass an inspection, you got to stay home, right?
Yeah. I've seen it. I have seen it. We are having a heck of a time on trying to get stuff dispatched this week. It's just like nobody exists in this industry. So I did send a heads up to and I did have some replies saying it's not the major Blitz week. It's just the brake check week. And I was like, okay, well, apparently I don't know. But John, would you like to enlighten us maybe a little bit about the fact that, Blitz week is going to cause a whole bunch of you're so blurry.
I know. I cannot figure out what the heck is causing my camera to
It's
do
okay.
this.
We'll take you blurry. We got the
You were blurry a minute ago.
I break the screen anyway, so you're better off with it being blurry. Okay. I've been told many times I have a face for radio.
That's terrible.
Turn the blur off.
Dang.
That is not true.
That is horrible.
Oh.
Who said that?
I think if you put
My wife.
Your wife. Oh my God. I think we need John to put on a brown cloak with a hat, and he would look like one of those guys from Star Wars.
Sure. Your double broker bounty hunter emblem is clear as can be, but you are fuzzy. So it's like it's focused on
the emblem is part of my green screen background.
So put yourself as part of the green screen.
Yeah, maybe that's what I need to do. I need to just put myself in a green screen and just sit here.
Yeah,
and while I'm sitting here talking, I look like I'm ventriloquist, but it will clear up in a moment. This happens from time to time.
All right, well, let's jump into it, John.
Care. Yeah. So Blitz Week. There are 3 every year that CVSA does. The first one is their really big one where they change whatever it is they're looking for every year. The second one is usually somewhere in the July timeframe. It's usually much more low key, but it's a narrow singular focus. This particular one is their brake check week. So it's all about brakes. So this is the third one of the season. It's the last one of the season. What really bothers me about these is that they are advertised. They are advertised ad nauseum. Therefore, any bad actor who's out there who knows that their trailers suck, they know that their brakes suck, they know that if they get hit for an inspection, they are going down, they stay off the road. Yeah. And if any broker can't understand that concept and realize that their capacity is going to draw down this week as a result, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know how to explain this to you. I have mansplained this the best way that I possibly could. Yes. Okay. If that does not help, one of you ladies needs to sit here and tell them in plain language, you're fucked. Okay. I mean, I'm just throwing that out.
Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Y'all are fucked.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you know that your truck and your trailer is not going to be able to pass that inspection, and you go and you pick up a load and you're loaded.
I know, Jared. It's part of the light. I'm working on it.
That's I work with Jared. He must have was able to get on, but I mean, you're risking a lot. You're going to get put out of service, and then you're going to have to come and find somebody to come and transload that.
Let's keep in mind also that when you already have a bad safety score or one that's kind of on the edge, maybe you're running in the yellow on some safety score issues, you get a Blitz week like this, it's easy to drop you into that red zone because of the weighted points. The first 6 months, your violations, those points are triple. The second 6 months, they're double. And then the last year that you have them, they're normal price. They're the normal price. But So
Oh,
you get 2 or 3
nice.
trucks out there and you get hit with even a few small inspections, those points are triple right off the jump for 6 months. So easy to pop you up there. And then with the Montgomery ruling that came down, brokers are really getting a lot more choosy on whether or not they want to use carriers due to their safety score. So as that safety score continues to climb, you continue to be less accepted. So
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, like I was telling John yesterday, I've run into the situation where, some of the contacts that I use or, within the industry, they've told me straight up, nope, can't use them with that safety score, can't sign them on, can't load them. And,
Yeah,
that's what it is.
it's getting more and more difficult. On top of the fact that, like, I think in my industry, which is auto hauling, okay, which is we have things like, which I'm sure you ladies deal with when things are coming in from the ports. So like influx of cargo that's coming in. But in my industry, like for example, finding an enclosed carrier is really hard right now. Not only is that pool of carriers smaller than normal, but we've got so much happening in California that it draws all the carriers out there. There's a big car week that's been going on, happens every year. But as far as open carriers, like I've got a unit right now, and I'll say it out loud. It's from Akron to Chattanooga. It's not that hard. It's Cleveland, guys. And it's like a desert. It's like nobody's in Ohio. And, this is where
because of how strong Blitz is in Ohio.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah. Every time I have a war story about a Blitz week, it's Ohio or Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I think when CVSA published their results from the first Blitz week of this year, I would say 30% of the inspections took place between Pennsylvania
Go ahead, hurry
and
up.
Ohio.
I pause. Go.
Okay.
Hey, Remy.
That's what we need this for. This is what we need this for, is because like that's valuable information I'm going to take over to my client so she can give it to hers. But that resonates, right? So if I had known this ahead of time, I would have probably looked for a driver just to come to Detroit, just to come that short distance and then take it down with some other stuff. But yeah, Ohio, it's like a freaking dead zone. We haven't had one hit since last Thursday when we put it out there to our carrier partners. And it's this, I thought the same thing. It's got to be Blitz week, but that's why we all talk about this stuff, right? We share information and we talk about it because you're right. I mean, these carriers are avoiding that area. And on top of it, they're sitting at home if they really don't want to take a chance. But to your point, John, the fact that they're advertising, it's like saying to a bank robber, hey guys, guess what? I'm going to leave the front door open and we're not going to be midnight and 5 a.m.
Okay. Well, what makes that worse? I'm going back to the first Blitz week of the year because we have the full stack of data on that now. 1/3, 32% went out of service during that run. Okay, normally it's around 19-20% are out of service. It was over 30% were out of service this year, which means 1 in 3 cars on the road in a announced Blitz week are unsafe to be there. So odds are when it's not Blitz week, I'd say 1 in 2 trucks on the road are not safe to be driving alongside of. I don't know about you, but I don't like the fact that I've got family on these highways driving next to a truck. I know I refuse to drive alongside of a truck. I will speed up to get ahead of them, or I will fall back behind them if they're going a good pace. I am not going to be beside them. No way. Not in this day.
While I realize that preventative maintenance comes at a cost, if you consider, hey, we got to put tires on these trucks. Hey, we got to put brakes on these trucks. This is going to come out of our pockets. This cost. What would it come out of your pocket if that driver didn't have the tires and brakes and kill somebody?
Yep. It's important.
One
you got to take care of your truck and your trailer.
Do you want to be the company that has to tell a driver's family they're not coming home? Do you want to be the company that has to tell a civilian family that your driver killed someone? I mean, how's that? That's got to, obviously it impacts your family or your business greatly if you have a fatality accident. But I see training companies out there that have multiple fatality accidents, and I'm just like,
Well, I want to talk about this question real quick because this is a very important question. And Jen, you and I have talked circles around this particular issue. The difference between a citation and a warning. Okay. What is the issue behind this? Go ahead, Jen.
Well, if you get a warning, there's no way to fight it. You can't get it taken off of your safety record. There's no way to do data queues with that. A violation, obviously it's there. It can put you out of service. But and the warning says they feel like they're doing you a favor. I'll let you go on down the road. We're not going to write you a citation. But then at the other side of that is, well, if you don't write me the ticket and I don't have to pay the fine on it, then I also can't do the data queue to correct it if it's wrong.
See, I learned that from Jenny. Yep, Jenny. Yep. She told me about that too. And I started telling, the drivers and the carriers out there, hey, listen, you don't want a warning. You want a ticket.
Yeah, I learned that from Jenny too, back when we first met. So Jenny, thank you. And I've been coaching my drivers all along the way. You get pulled over and they say, yeah, I'll let you off with a warning. No, officer, thank you very much. I do appreciate the gesture. Please issue the citation. Thank you very much.
And let me explain that. Even if you are at fault, let's say you're speeding, they pull you over and you've got 11 miles an hour over, okay? If you go to court and that officer doesn't show up, the judge might drop that to 5 miles an hour, which is a lesser penalty. And with those weighted, points right off the jump, if a 5 miles over is 3 points, and a 10 miles an hour is 6 points, and then a 15 miles an hour is like 10 points, I think, or something like that. So if you get it dropped from a 15, which is 10 points, so it's 30 initially, and you get it dropped down to a 10 over, now you've only got 9 points instead of 30 points. Well,
So what I'm hearing, Jennifer, is that the driver wants to ask for that citation because you can fight that. He can't. But if you get a warning, like when a cop pulls you over, that is also recorded that they gave them a warning. It gets tagged to their is it their DOT or their license or something? It
depends on whether it's a driver issue or if it's a company issue.
Okay.
So if it's a driver fitness thing, if it's like your driver's license expired, obviously it's a driver problem.
Yeah.
But if it's your brakes are not adjusted properly. Now, something I learned that I did not know this, and I've been a truck driver for 6 years. You are not supposed to adjust your brakes if you are not certified.
Oh.
And see, when I drove, we were always told you better have your brakes adjusted. But we did a lot of stuff. I hauled asphalt, so we did a lot of stopping, starting, backing up in traffic. People cut you off right, left, coming in and out. So yeah, but these companies that are road drivers. I asked somebody in an interview one time, do you do any mechanicing? Are you comfortable adjusting your own brakes? I don't adjust my brakes. I was like, and I got looking. I found out it's actually a law. You cannot adjust your brakes if you're not certified.
Interesting.
I didn't know that.
That's a great piece of information. I'm sure a lot of people out there don't realize it because we talk about these drivers that just come into this industry uninformed. They pass their CDL. They don't get a lot of this training. They don't get a lot of this information that they need to know in order to not only be successful in what they're doing, but avoid these types of situations.
So along with your CDL school training, obviously I didn't have to go to school. I got my CDL before there was a school thing requirement. But along with that, there needs to be, if you're coming into the industry, if you're going in to be a company driver, perhaps maybe you don't need this, but if you're going into the industry, you don't know what kind of driver you want to be. You need a week of business training behind that because they need to ask questions. They need to say, what kind of driver do you want to be? Do you want to be a leased-on driver? Do you want to be a company driver? Do you want to be an owner-operator? And what is the difference? What are the pros and the cons of each of those? Because each side has a good and a negative for each thing. It depends on what you want to do and where you're headed with life. Do you want to grow your company? Do you want to just be a one truck owner operator forever? Are you planning to grow this into a fleet eventually? And
shout out to CDL Shorty. He's the kind of guy you want as a trainer because he talks about that, even though it's not part of the curriculum.
He really does.
And so you start with that, but you also have to branch into, these guys don't realize when they come in, they're like, hey, I've got a piece of plastic, guys and gals, excuse me. I got a piece of plastic. I can get in the truck and I can go and I can haul for it. You can, but people don't know how to figure their costs. They don't know how to spot double brokered loads. They don't understand when something sounds a little shady. They don't read contracts. I mean, there's a whole lot that goes into it that is not just, driving down the road. And then when you're trying to drive down the road, you're trying to dispatch yourself, do your own accounting, chase down the money you owed, all these other things, you're a one-man band and you only have so many hours in the workday. And if you're driving and trying to, get on the phone to somebody because they owe you money and you have to have It's exhausting.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that that's what they're signing up for. They have no idea.
So is there a
That's what-
gap? Jennifer, would you say there's a gap between when they come out of CDL training and hit the road, that there's a gap that needs to be closed there?
Definitely. I mean, that's why I think there needs to be at least a few days of business training that goes in your CDL schooling. Like, it's got to be a package deal so that, I mean, maybe if you're going to be a company driver for the rest of your life, you get one day of that, just kind of a high gloss overview. But I said, it comes down to, like, if I'm a school teacher, and my mom was a school teacher, so that's why I use this, and I'm in a classroom, and I'm like, I'm so sick of these kids. I'm going to go drive a truck and see the country. Okay. And I go get my CDL and I get a truck. And I have never had anybody in my family that's driven a truck. I don't know anything about trucking. I don't know not to park at the fuel island and go take a shower. It should be courtesy of common sense. Yeah, but there's all these trucks parked here. I've seen it parked. I don't know. I'm not supposed to do that if nobody tells me.
Yeah.
And you think this stuff you don't know what you don't know. So all the way from like courtesy things that people think you should know, all the way up to big things that a lot of people don't know. I feel they're confused. They don't know that trucks don't move without rate cons. Like, what are you doing? I mean, I gotta go down the road. No, the truck doesn't move without the rate con, baby.
Yeah, so it definitely sounds like there's a gap there. So I think that's an important thing to talk about in this industry is how do you close that gap, right? Because that just, I mean, we all talk about wanting to make this industry better. We last time we were on with Shorty and John and I, we all said our goal is to leave it better than we found it,
right? Which
is pretty much everything in life. But we really need to start that conversation of how do we do that? Like, I know from my experience and where I see myself going is the lack of knowledge in my industry on the auto side
as a whole, all the way around. Because we have people that have safety, like I said, safety scores. So I've been helping with safety and compliance as I've got a lot of industry breadth. And so I'm helping with safety and compliance. Like, yes, I want to be a safer, more compliant company. I want lower insurance rates. I want people to, and then the next thing you know, you're like, well, my fee would be to come in and oversee your files, check all your files to see if they're all there, to check on your ELDs, watch your drivers. It's going to be this. Well, we'll talk about this later. I'm not really going to. And there's a need for a fractional VP. Like, I have a couple companies that are interested in borrowing me for a week, a month or something to be a fractional VP. And then we start talking about how that's going to roll out. And we'll talk about this next quarter. Yeah, I mean, you all have great intentions. I see that, but you have to apply it. You have to apply it somewhere. It's not going to happen by itself. Well, you obviously see the need for it. So, like,
they do, but then they start to see the cost, and they have to be able to understand, like, where does the cost change over to? It's worth spending the money to do it because of the fact that you're gonna, does that reduce your citations? Does it reduce your fines? Does it keep your driver retention? Does it increase your ROI? Where's the ROI on investing in education down the road? And I think that a lot of these big companies and even some small ones, they just, for some reason, they don't see it. They don't see it like we do. But will they see it, Jenny? When
I don't know, because even some of these mid-sized ones, they're like, yeah, we need you. Yeah, come do this. Come help us with this. We need a fractional VP, and then you go to, no, we'll do it next quarter. And I'm like, okay. I mean, it's no skin off my back. I mean, I got plenty of work to do over here. I got collections to do. I got safety and compliance to do. I mean, I can keep myself booked. But you sit here and you're telling me you want to be safer and more compliant. I'm looking at your stuff and I see where you're bleeding red all across the board. Do you want help or do you not want help? Or do you just want to let it go until it's not sustainable anymore and you close that one down and start another one?
Yeah, it's kind of like the fraud conversation that nobody wanted to have about 4 years ago. Everybody just wanted to be like, oh, yeah, we're not going to talk about fraud. We're not going to talk about fraud prevention. It's going to be too expensive. We have to have more staff. We have to do this. We have to do that. We have to invest. Well, I know, at least John and I know, like, and I'm sure you've seen it in freight, is the first time you have a car stolen, you all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay. Or there's a non-compliance on the fraud side with the insurance. And now something happens and you don't have insurance to cover that load. All of a sudden it becomes important. And so that's where we all are looking and saying, okay, so what's it going to take? What's going to have to happen to make the big shift for people to understand that it's not just about, hiring somebody like you, Jenny, wherever you are, here or there, I'm not sure. And in order to have that conversation now versus later when something big happens, and then it's going to be even more expensive.
Right. And so that's where you have to weigh the front side of that. Like you're saying, that I understand it has to look good on the paper. But for example, I have a company that right now I'm bringing up safety and compliance. They had 2 local box trucks. They're adding 5 over the road. Okay. So great. And I'm trying to help them with this. And they're like, well, how soon can you get us up and going? I said, well, I can onboard a driver in 3 days, really. I mean, but it depends on how fast their drug test comes back, obviously, whatever. So, but I said, so we can get this done in the end of 2 weeks. It's like, fantastic. Well, but the thing is that you're kind of dragging. You have to vet those people out. You have to, excuse me.
She's either yelling at somebody or coughing right now. Just everybody knows.
I was just telling him, shh, I'm on the podcast. I wasn't yelling. But I was doing the shh.
Got those kids.
My new air conditioner being delivered. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I feel that.
So but anyways, so they said, but the guy said to me, well, it's got to make sense to me on paper. How much are you going to charge me? So I told him what my fee was. And he says, well, my partner and I have already invested X amount of dollars into this company. We haven't seen the first. I said, that's not my problem. It doesn't negate my value and the service I'm providing. So I'm going to need you to pay that, or you can find somebody else. I mean, I'm sorry, it's not more like a good fit then. And I'm not trying to be ugly to people, but it's not.
But you mentioned your value, and I think all of us on this show, we know that like there is a cost to having professionals work with you, and there is a cost to you're going to do it cheap, or you're going to actually work with people that actually know what they're doing. I mean, all 4, John, are you still with us?
Oh yeah.
we have to be able to stand, like my kids say, 10 toes down when it comes to knowing our worth and knowing.
And where is Jeff Dickinson right now? The cheapest way, the most expensive way, the cheapest way of doing something is the most expensive way.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like that across the board. So knowing our worth and being able to communicate that and making a case for it. Like you said, it's no skin off of my teeth if you don't want my guidance and my all of the knowledge that's up here to make your business better. But I want to be able to do that for you, but I do know my worth. And so therefore we're not willing to compromise that. And it goes back to everything we do every day. We're not willing to compromise our clients. We're not willing to compromise giving somebody a load that has shitty, scores when it comes to safety or time in the industry or any other red flags that we start to see. So you have to put that value across everything. And
I agree with that, because I ran into that too. And then you get into with these carriers and trucking companies that you work with, and then lo and behold, this is what they brought you in to do. And then next thing you know, you're handling all these other issues that really aren't for you to have to handle. But when you are, some people are built different, and I just, when there's a problem, it's just like, what can we do to solve it? You know what I mean? Like,
let's be honest, we have our niche, obviously, but we have industry knowledge breadth that people take advantage of once they realize that we have it. They don't set out to do that. They're not malicious people, but by that token, that, oh gosh, well, this person can handle it. John can handle that. He knows this stuff. Oh, Amy knows that. She can handle this. I mean, we brought Amy to dispatch, yeah, but she knows this too. Oh, we brought John to do this, yeah, but he does fraud stuff too. And then next thing you know, you're like knee deep into 17 other projects and you're contracted for.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Exactly.
All day, every day.
Yeah, it happens.
All day, every day.
And they don't see it. It's like, okay, so here's my, here's what I'm going to charge you to come and do the training. Here's what I'm going to do for a day of me coming in and, talking about this industry and what you can do better and how we can protect you and all of it. But I don't know, maybe I need to put a clause in that says, oh, by the way, while I'm there, you're going to ask me 17 other things and I'm still going to be able to help you. And I'm not going to charge you for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know how many times I've had people sit there and call me looking for advice and whatnot. And I start talking. I was like, we really need to go ahead and start and open up a consulting account, and then click. I never hear back from them again.
Yes, I know.
And it's like, look, I'm happy to come and train you guys. Okay, pay for my plane ticket. Here's my rate for the entire day. I'll do whatever the hell you want all day long. I'll do a full audit, whatever you need. You'll have me for the entire day. And then click and crickets. I never hear back from them. You know what? If you don't want to invest in your own safety and protection, that's on you. You recognize that I've got the knowledge. You recognize I have the skill. You want it for free. Good freaking luck when your
But
cargo
let a trailer
disappears.
come up
Because if
missing,
your
what
cargo
happens?
disappears and you're going to call me asking me to find it for you, I'm going to charge you 20% of the value of the cargo. So I'm really hoping it's a $1 million cargo.
Yes.
In which case, I will put my full effort in trying to find it.
The lottery has been won at that point, John. We won't see you for a while.
Uh-huh. But no, that's the same. That's the thing too, is like, and I need to stop doing this for myself personally as well, because there's so many loads that I don't, that I book that I don't invoice for. You know what I mean? I need to stop doing that. I really do. I need to start saying, you know what? This is what it is. I mean, sometimes I do cut myself short, but at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know.
We give those people grace, expecting it to come around to us, and then a lot of times it doesn't come back to us, unfortunately.
Right.
But we continue to do so because we see the need for it. We see they need us. They need us. They need us. And we want to help. I just want to make it better. I just want to make them better. I want them to see what they're doing wrong so that they don't get taken advantage of. I mean, whether you're a carrier or a broker or a factory company, even. I mean, I work with all of them, and our shippers even. I don't want anyone to be taken advantage of. I want to help. I want to open your eyes to what's really out there, because before, when I was actually in the industry as a driver and working, I didn't realize the fraud was this bad. I didn't realize it was growing exponentially year over year until I'm in the fraud, and I'm like,
Yeah, but I just want to say to all of us out here, if we keep doing stuff for free, we're setting a precedence. It's like setting boundaries. If you constantly give away your service, nobody's going to end up paying for it, because why would they? Right. So it may cost us a little now, but you have to really hold tight to, like we said, your value, and don't compromise on that, because, I have actually started finally at my age and how long I've been doing this to finally tell people when they come back and want to haggle on a price. Right. First off, you talk about diesel fuel rates. I mean, it's ridiculous. Right. But I finally have told people I'm just not a good fit. I'm just not a good fit. And 9 times out of 10, they come back, because then they have a problem. Then everybody's promising in the world. And then it's still the rate, or it might be higher by the time you come back, because fuel rates are changing, exponentially. But it's okay to turn away business, because it's like, I know my value. I know how much I'm going to put into it. And I know my time, what my time is worth. And so at some point, you just got to say no. But I'm here when you need me. But it's just not a good fit. We're not a good fit. You want it cheap, fast,
but we're also adrenaline junkies. So when it comes in and they call, you're like, ooh, well, this is really exciting.
You're like, oh, you're back. You're back. Okay. Glad to see you.
Well, that's 100% true. That is why, at least certainly between Jen and I, and we've known each other for years, that is why we do a lot of what we do. We love this stuff. We eat, live, and breathe this stuff.
And that's Nancy how Drew in 2022.
Yeah, exactly. We have we've done this so much. I'm not going to say it, I'm not going to liken it to the people that watch all the crime shows on TV, so they think they're experts at committing murder and getting away with it. But we have certainly learned plenty about this industry, that if Jenny or I wanted to clean this industry out and get away with it, I think we could. Very easily.
The beach looks great.
Well, it's the question is, what beach? What non-extradition treaty beach are we going to go to?
It's just so much effort. I'd rather just stay here and fight with them.
Hey, you know what? That's why I'm still here. I prefer to fight the good fight, because you don't get the reputation as the double broker bounty hunter to then become a scammer. Can you imagine if anyone would ever employ me ever again if I fucked up that bad?
No. But you know what? That could be your end game.
I would be done. I have been in logistics and supply chain my entire professional life. I will never get another job again. So of course I'm gonna stay to the straight and narrow, because that's what I am. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm not a bad guy.
I think the thing is to continue to be honest with people too. Like, I do a lot of reputation management, getting unjust freight yards removed, things like that. Also, dabble in everything. Help desk kiosk, Hi, narc. But the thing is that I tell people sometimes, I'm sorry, you earned that freight guard. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
So,
And just like,
Yeah.
well, you missed it, Narco. He's been quiet for quite some time, and we've all been sitting here chit-chatting. Welcome to the party, my friend.
But you know that's the thing
He's just a
too, is
mechanic.
a
He's just a
lot of people, even when you tell them, when you're speaking with someone, and you're telling them to say, listen, I don't sugarcoat anything, and there's going to be some things that you're not going to want to hear, but I'm going to tell you anyway, because it's important for you to hear it. And then they're just like, no, it's fine. And then as soon as you hurt somebody's feelings because you're honest with them, they're just going to be like, oh my God. Listen.
They didn't want the truth.
Not personal.
Yes.
That's
not personal.
It's not. And that's
it's never personal.
They want the truth.
It never is.
Hear it.
Yeah.
That's a key indicator right there. I was at Women in Automotive, and I sat in a breakout room, and there was a list of words. And her presentation was like, circle the top 2 words that resonate with you. And I immediately went to authenticity. I am 100% about being authentic. And I know transparency is like the big buzzword, but I've been saying that since the 80s. Okay. Not aging myself here, but I've been saying that. And if you don't want the authentic me, then we're not a good fit together. And I'm okay with that, bro. I'm okay with it. You're going to get the best version of me. You're going to get a ton of knowledge, experience. You're going to get all of it at a deep discounted price, because all you're getting charged is to move a car. Now, you want me to come in and do the whole coaching and counseling and training stuff. That's a different story. But ladies, we have so much knowledge between us, and there's so many more of us out there that where was I going? Okay, no, because my brain is, even though
the train left the station, you weren't on it.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm on ADD and my brain's going everywhere. But we could literally form our own conference, and these are conversations that we could have constantly about this industry. And at the end of the day, I'm a huge proponent of authenticity. And if you don't like me and who I am and how I present and what I say, well, guess what? I'm okay with that, because yeah, it's like shimmy. It's like, peace out, people. This is the real me. But you're going to get the damn good version of me every time. And I'm going to work hard. And I think that's important. I think that's really important, along with all this conversation about learning and Jen's knowledge and John and Tammy and all of us. So this is
so how do we get 3 days added on the CDL training so that we can get them industry knowledge that they need when they come out there?
Well, I think that's a really great, I've actually opened up that conversation with CDL Shorty.
Mm-hmm.
How do we either get in the CDL training, or how do we get in front of these companies that are hiring these guys coming fresh out? And even the guys that have been in this industry for a while, how do we get out there and we talk to them about this stuff and best practices, and how to, one of the things I talk about with Shorty is bridging the gap between brokers and carriers, bridging that gap. There doesn't have to be animosity. But even brokers need training on how to talk to carriers and dispatchers and drivers, and those guys need to learn how to talk to brokers. There's a lot of this friction between us and the industry. And my biggest thing is, without the brokers and the shippers, there is no trucks and drivers. Without the drivers and their trucks and the dispatchers and all them, there's none of us. We all need to work together to keep this industry running like a well-ran truck.
It takes a team. It definitely does. It does.
Put egos aside, guys, and just work together. I mean, think about
all of the condescending remarks that come from some of these males in this industry, because I'll tell you.
Well, now because we're a bunch of females here, I can see where that comes from. But I also have seen some ice queens out here in this industry as well, that have position of knowledge and shooting down people like you. Well, you can't tell me anything. Look, people, it's not personal. This is business. We're just trying to give you information. If you don't need the information or don't want the information, I'm absolutely fine with that.
Hey, Jen,
peace, love, and joy.
Tammy, how do you guys like it? We talked about this yesterday on Do You Even Freight? And I said, how tired are you of being mansplained about our industry from people that probably have been in it are still in diapers, basically, compared to the amount of time we have. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I heard you when you said that. The one thing that I'll say is I haven't been doing it as long as some people have in the industry, but I have been fortunate enough to gain quite a bit of knowledge on different areas and different things that are going on within the industry. Um, and again, I don't care who you are. You're not gonna speak to me any kind of way. I don't
Oh,
care. And ask Jenny; she'll tell you all about it. I'm not.
But
I'm
but you know,
not.
I'm like a sponge. I sit around and I just soak up information. I just soak it up and soak it up from Michelle, from Amy, from John, from all sources, and I just wait till I have to spit it back out because I just keep it. I just have all this information, and I just want to share it with everybody because if you have all this information, you're better equipped to take on the industry. You know.
yeah, I hear you. And, I think it's just, we have so many people like John. When I was at Women in Automotive, there were so many men there that are advocates for all of us women, whether you're a driver, a dispatcher, a logistics manager, a compliance, insurance, whatever it is, dealers. We have so many advocates now, more than we ever had before. And I just wanted to give a shout out to all the males in this industry who are supporting us and realizing
Yes.
that we are an asset to any touch point in this industry. And I think that just having this conversation even right now, hopefully it will find somebody that will hear about how much Jennifer knows and will reach out to her, and how Tammy knows so much about what she's doing in the, your third party dispatcher, right? Logistics.
Mhm. Yep.
And obviously, John, we know all about you. So I'm on a roll today. But it's so important that we have
I just need to go ahead and just do this, and it's all you guys.
God,
I'll
who?
just let it
DBBH?
be.
What?
But I think there's just a lot of education that still has to happen. I was dispatching. I had dispatched 2 of our orders yesterday because I sometimes I have to take them back because there's just a lot I can do here, right? Pivot ideas. Da, 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 da. Long story short,
There's a
I
squirrel.
got 2 vehicles picked up, not just one, on the
Oops.
same carrier, negotiated, problem solved, talked about it. And when he was texting me, he's like, "Thank you, sir. It was so great working with you, sir." So I sent him the female emoji, like, "Hey, yeah, she's a blonde haired girl." And he was like, "Oh." Now, I didn't see a flip in the conversation, but I can tell you that that's happened before to me in the past, where I've sent the little girl emoji, the female emoji, and they're just like, "Oh, great." Like, you can tell there's a dip in conversation. It's a tone change. And that's just not acceptable, because you liked me up until that point and thought I was a freaking genius giving you a load. But now, yeah. And I think some of it is cultural, and that's sad to say.
I have to agree. When I gave up dispatching earlier this year, and went to work for a freight broker, I know I'm a traitor to the transporters out there, but that's okay. Hey, I'll take the steady paycheck. Sorry, I'm sure you all understand that. When I did that and I turned over my clients to a very good friend of mine, it was kind of surprising, the reaction. 3 of the drivers are Muslim. 2 of them, 2 brothers, no issues, no problems whatsoever. They're like, "Oh, she's been doing this as long as you have." And I was like, "Yeah, probably a little bit longer." And they're like, "And you can vouch for her?" I was like, "Absolutely." And they were happy as a clam. And then there was this one who were like, "Wait a minute, this is a woman?" I said, "Yeah." "Oh, no, I'll do myself. I do myself." I'm like, "Okay. If I come back to dispatching for whatever reason, I'm not taking you back. No,
Right.
that's not happening." I get that there are cultural issues. I get that. I do not agree with it. I do not believe in it, and I think you all need to rot. But you know what? It is what it is.
Well, we do appreciate you, John, and everybody else out there who does, vouch for women that are in this industry, because it's, and, I feel sorry for some people who really don't have as thick as skin as some of us.
Michelle,
Yeah, really
I think
get out
Mother
there.
would be proud that we're having this conversation, Michelle.
Oh, I do too. I absolutely do, because of your voice is a lot about women empowerment in our industry, and Mother would be. I definitely think so. And John, like we talked about the other day, Wonder Woman. When the women take over, we will definitely vouch for you.
We do run the world,
I got a feeling I'm
we
boned
definitely
because of.
do.
Well, one of I'm willing to bet the first woman that gets to me when the purge takes place is not going to be one of the ones who know me. So I do not expect to survive when the purge strikes. Because let's face it, gentlemen, if you don't realize this, then you're an idiot. Women can survive without us. We cannot survive without them. So our days are numbered. I've accepted that fact. I have accepted that fact.
Oh, what do the Simpsons have to say about all that? Have they predicted anything that we should know?
I don't know.
Oh, dear God. The closest prediction I can come to off the top of my mind is that we are going to lose and the Dolphins are going to take over.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, right. Well, that could have been a metaphor. That could have been a metaphor for the women.
And Lisa Simpson is going to take over as president of the United States when Trump leaves office. That's been predicted also.
I'll take that over The Handmaid's Tale any day, because I'm at that age where I'm not going to be a handmaid, and I'll be lucky. I guess I'll be washing dishes, serving food, and doing laundry. But yeah, the Handmaid's Tale is a scary thing. In fact, when I was in North Carolina, I drove by there's a city in North Carolina, and I'm sorry, has anybody watched The Handmaid's Tale here that can what was the name of that city?
I can't watch a show. Just knowing what The Handmaid's Tale is about, anytime I see a commercial for it, I just stop watching TV. I'm done.
Yeah, no, and it's we joke about it, but
Jesus, Narc, you are incorrigible.
Durham? Michelle's at Durham?
No, Gillian. That was the name of the city from Handmaid's Tale. And I'm driving through North Carolina and I see Gillian exit. And I was like, oh, damn. But nope.
Yeah.
Took a picture of it. I said,
I don't care if I'm out of fuel. I'm going to push my car to the next exit. Thank you very much. Have a nice life.
I will walk to the. Oh, look, I'm actually appropriately wearing the red for Handmaids. That's crazy. Yeah. So, this kind of went off the rails in a hot minute. That's why I love this show.
There's a squirrel.
We love you too.
Yeah, there is a squirrel. Don't forget sweeping, mopping floors. What else? Windows, probably a whole lot of other jobs. But at the end of the day, I think that they kind of killed all those men in that show too. They did take over. That was great.
Do they? Okay. Well, maybe I will actually watch it then. At least the last season.
Yeah. Spoiler alert: the women take over and kill all the horrible men. And I just spoiled it for you. Sorry, that show's been out forever. If you haven't watched it by now.
That's your own damn fault.
I was cloaked since it came out, and I'm telling you what, I'm not built for that kind of life either.
Yeah,
I'm just not.
No,
definitely be June. I'd be wanting to, rep.
Yeah.
Rally a rebel. Okay. So, John.
Yes.
You talked about fuel rates going up. Here's what I'd like to know. Have you heard anything about fuel reserves? I've been reading some things. I'd like to touch on that because fuel reserves are a scary thing with this whole war going on. And how is that going to impact our industry when we start to really see spikes in fuel?
Well, I really don't know much about fuel. I was a fuels officer in the military. I'm a trained economist, so I really have no idea what I'm talking about here. But what I can say is that traditionally, U.S. diesel inventories are growing throughout the summer. They have to throughout the summer months because our consumption is drastically higher in the winter months. So this is the period where we build up. And current U.S. diesel inventories are at about 50% of what they typically are this time of year.
Oh.
So if you factor that in with the fact that diesel production around the globe is down because the countries who typically produce it are impacted by the slowdown in the supply chains because of the war. We're not going to be able to replenish the supply to levels that are needed by the time we get to winter. Therefore, I would not be surprised by any stretch. I mean, today's diesel price, what was that? $5.64 a gallon, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's the U.S. average composite. I would not. I don't think it is a wild guess to sit there and say, come December, it could be as high as $7 a gallon.
Well,
That's
I mean,
scary.
regular gasoline right now, I think we're paying, at least in Michigan, I'm seeing as much as $4.50, almost $5 a gallon for normal.
I get the gasoline numbers too, but I really only focus on the diesel. The U.S. average for gasoline is $4.08.
So yeah,
Is what it's showing, and that is an increase of 4 cents over last week. The highest regional average, of course, is California at $5.45.
yeah, and I do look
don't
at that.
know what the records are in those categories. Again, I don't track that nearly
Yeah.
as closely as I do the diesel.
Well, because you guys, I mean, you got semis, right? I mean, in auto hauling, we have just regular pickup trucks that have smaller trailers
shots.
attached to them, yeah, that are not diesel driven, and so they are also being impacted with the cost of fuel right now. And sometimes that gets left out of the conversation, which is kind of a bummer. But even those guys are hurting, and they hurt a little bit more because they don't have the ability to offset some of that because they are a smaller hotshot trailer. And so we're seeing their rates going up compared to bigger larger trailers, you know, your 7, your 9, your 10 car haulers, where they can kind of figure out what does that cost look like that they have to book to keep that trailer whole and running in the green, right? These hotshot guys I'm seeing their rates going through the roof right now as well.
We should have asked Jared. Jared's the one.
A lot of the hot shots that I'm aware of actually are diesels. I don't know how many of them actually run gasoline. But I know those who run diesels complain all the time because they still got to deal with the DEF tanks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, DEF is one of the biggest scams to ever hit the automotive industry. I mean, holy crap. I know Jenny can go on for hours about diesel and the state of the industry right now. I think the most appropriate response is they take my wine.
Cheers. I don't have my wine, but here we go.
Cheers.
Yeah.
My
Good old
thing
batch
gets
from
water.
Chianti. I'm an Italian. I will never stop drinking Chianti.
I love it. Yeah. And, you know, I know that a lot, like you just said, a lot of the hot shots are diesel, but, you know, I've been on site with these dealers where it's a Ford F-250 and they're just pulling a little one car, like a 1 trailer or 2 car trailer. But yeah, it's when, you know,
Hey, someone's running electric trucks. That's got to be fun.
No, that is the stupidest thing. That is so dangerous. It just makes me cringe.
What's that?
what is it?
The self-driving semis that they have out here.
The automated stuff. No, he's talking.
Yeah.
What Sage was talking about is electric battery.
Yeah.
The electric cars.
Yeah.
The electric trucks.
One of the
Death
drivers.
is my enemy. Yeah, the electric trucks. I mean, you know, isn't it okay? So isn't it interesting how we saw this huge push for like electric vehicles, right? And then gas dropped, and so everybody was like, "Oh no, gas again." Now gas is back up. Now we're seeing another push for the EV, the electric vehicle.
I've got to tell you, I bought an EV back in April. Okay, and I received that EV. It came off the truck 2 days before the shooting started in Iran. Okay. I drive by the gas station every freaking week and I laugh my ass off every single time. My next door neighbor drives a Jeep Wrangler. Okay. And he, every time we see each other outside, he's like, "John, I fucking hate you." And I'm like, why? He's like, because you're plugging in your car right now, you motherfucker. I got to go to the gas station.
Yeah. Yeah. I've always said, I think the next big thing, I mean, I've never agreed with everybody getting rid of your gas and going all electric, but I would 100% agree with the hybrid. I really want a hybrid vehicle where you still have gas. So if my battery dies, I still have the gas, because like a dum-dum, I probably would forget to plug it in. I forget to plug in my laptop at night or my cell phone. I mean, if I had to remember to plug in a car, I might be in trouble, but
okay, I'm not trying to turn this into a pro EV thing, but dude, I love my EV. Okay, and when my wife and I went on a long distance trip, 8-hour trip to my in-laws a couple months ago, we actually planned our route. We planned our route against known charging stations along the way that were compatible to our vehicle, and no real problems. The only problem we had was the one that we had planned on outside of Tallahassee, east of Tallahassee. They were out of service that day. And it was 30 miles to the next one, and we had about 20 miles of range. So we actually plugged into a 110 outlet, sat there for a few hours to get enough charge, and then we went over to the next closest one, topped off, and kept going. So, I mean, it can be done. If you can plan your route well, you shouldn't have any real issues, but it's about planning and speed management. Do you know how much more range I had by going 71 miles an hour versus doing 78 miles an hour like I normally do on the interstate?
Oh,
it added 20% of my range. It added 20% to my range. It was amazing.
I would get 10 miles.
Yeah. If you know how to do it, if you know how to manage it, then it's a breeze. And oh my God, I love driving my car.
Fair point, 100%. But how many people out there are huge planners and would actually
learn to be? I mean, if you're not planning your diesel consumption, if you're not planning your diesel stops, you're an idiot. I think, and drivers, I love you to death. I love you to death, drivers. But if you're stopping at Love's or Flying J to get your fuel, you're an idiot. Okay, go inland 1 freaking mile from the interstate, and you're going to save 50 cents a gallon. I mean, holy cow, guys.
Can we say hot tip of the day? No, John, I think that's your hot tip of the day. Drive the extra mile to get the reduction in diesel price. Okay, breathe. John, in and out.
I'm trying. I'm trying. We hit these topics that I get passionate about, and I don't shut up. Okay, I think we've all figured that one out already. If you guys saw my show tomorrow or saw my show yesterday, I'm sorry. Okay, please forgive me. Mother knows how I feel about this. But otherwise, don't get me on my damn soapbox.
Yeah, I know. We all have a soapbox. We all do have a soapbox that we could stand on. So
Jared, the one comment, and Jared, he's the owner of Alpha Logics. He's actually my 40-foot hot shot guy right now. Our driver's getting ready to get loaded in Texas. But Jared, what did he say about I think he said Texas is trying to push for everybody to go.
Texas apparently is pushing for that, which...
So my question would be, if you have a breakdown, then what? Who I can barely afford my little Murano. If there's a breakdown with an electric vehicle, who's going to pay for that? Because you're talking about electrical here now. We're in a whole different thing.
Well, last time I checked to charge up those batteries to a full charge on those electric trucks, it takes like 8 hours or something. And so there goes team driving.
It depends on the type of charger you're on.
But there goes
it depends on the type of charger. I mean, okay, let me give you a frame of reference, okay? I've got a 2021 Mustang Mach-E, okay? That battery, if I plug it into the 110 outlet in my house, which I do have an adapter for, I can get maybe about 16 to 20% charge overnight, okay? Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you only drive 20 miles, 30 miles a day, that's all you need. If I upgraded to a 220 outlet, I can get a full charge in 8 hours. Okay. The supercharger, about a mile up the street from me, I can go from 10% to 80% in about 15 minutes. So, I mean, it all depends on the type of charger that you have. Now, if you are getting a fleet of electric trucks, which I think is most beneficial if you run like box trucks running local delivery, I think that is a great market to run electric trucks. If you do that, I would certainly be investing in a high-speed charger to plug your trucks up at night, so
Yeah.
your fleet was fully charged by morning.
Yeah.
But that's just where my head is. And oh, by the way, your fuel costs, your energy costs, whether it's whether it's diesel or electric, basically your costs are going to drop less than half if you go to electric. Your insurance will go up a little bit. Your insurance will go up. Don't get me wrong. It is more expensive to own an EV from an insurance perspective. However, it still does not take away the savings on the fuel.
That's a good question. Why is that?
Sage?
Because of the battery pack. It's the battery pack. I can tell you right now, it's the battery pack. Because once that battery pack's compromised by any stretch of the imagination, you now have a runaway catalytic situation going on.
250 gallons worth of diesel fuel on a truck. I mean, how's a battery pack?
I still stand 10 toes down on a hybrid. A hybrid is my gig. I don't think you're going to talk me into an EV. Luckily, I won't be around for more than another 35 years, maybe. Not in this industry, period. But no, I'm still a hybrid. I've got 2 kids with hybrids. They've been on low. Sometimes they go to this low charge, but then they can use their gas, and it's just So, John, I love your Mach-E because I think they're really, really nice vehicles. But no, thank you. I will pass. I'll take.
They're also super freaking fun to drive.
They look. Really cool.
I go to 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. You want to talk about throw you into the back of the seat? I love driving that.
Is it a dual battery? Is it a dual motor?
No.
Like the Tesla has the motor on the front and the back, so it's like a rocket. It's just the single.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, I love the hell out of it. I love the hell out of it.
I love it. You're such a dude.
I know. My wife loves it more than I do, and I thought I loved it. My wife loves it so much more.
Gosh, so we've really covered the gambit of like conversation today. This is great.
No,
we'll have to start linking up like once a month.
I like it. I like that Jarrett's been on. He's had some great comments, and Sage. I'm just reading your names, by the way. If I get them wrong, I'm sorry. Lots of really good narco. Lots of really good activity in your comment section today, John.
I have to give a shout out to both Sage and Narc for sure, because they always throw comments in there. So I appreciate that they're regular viewers. They're also friends of mine. But for the rest of our regular viewers out there, we definitely appreciate you guys as well. You all know that I've been at this in one form or another. Jenny has been with me actually since I first started doing podcasting. We had a show together back when we were with another organization. But as long as we've been doing this, we've been here every week. We will continue to be here every week in one form or fashion to try to educate the industry as to what's going on, particularly in the world of fraud, because let's face it, fraud is always changing. Fraud is always there. And if we are not keeping our eye on the ball, you better believe that ball gets up and walks away on you.
Amen.
So you got to take care of yourselves, guys. I'm sorry that we're at the end of the hour, because I would love to keep this conversation going. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut this off. But whichever one of you said we need to do this once a month, we're going to do a Ladies' Day once a month. I'm going to commit to that. Okay.
Because it's
the last Tuesday of the month. The last Tuesday of the month is going to be Ladies' Day here at the diner. Okay. Yay! So we will make sure that we do this. We will bring you on. We will talk about anything you want to talk about. I will keep a bottle of wine handy for the ladies.
I'll make sure next time. I'll have my wine.
we can cuss and discuss to our heart's content. So let's go around the room. Final plugs, issues, and whatnot. Jen, you first.
Just if you need help with any anything, just give me a call. I'm like the help desk kiosk. I'm in the transportation industry. If I can't do it, I'll get you to Michelle or Amy or John or whoever you need to get to.
And she's not going to
Jenny?
release your data to federal and state institutions like when you call the help desk over at FMCSA now.
Well, Jenny is a gem. Jenny the gem.
Thank you.
Michelle,
No applause, just throw money.
Michelle, you got any plugs or anything?
I always want to plug your voice on Kiss This Media. I'm excited. We got the podcast. Actually, it dropped today at 9 a.m. Today is Tuesday, right? I can't remember.
Yeah. Who was your guest for this week?
My guest for this week was Jose Carrero. He has developed he's in the process of developing trucker potty. And if you are a trucker in this industry concerned with safety and the ability to have a clean facility, definitely check it out. Very smart individual, very creative, very talented. And we'll see where it goes. We're interested to watch this process as he works through it. So I'm excited there. You can also find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta, whatever. Social. When I roll my eyes, I'm that person, right? But I'm excited. John, I always appreciate coming on. I've met 2 new people who I'm excited to be able to say that I look forward to chatting with you ladies even more. And it's always great. This is what I love about our industry is connecting and developing relationships and learning from one another. So if you need any advice on auto shipping, please reach out to me. The first 2 questions are free. After that is I know my work.
Oh, love it. Okay, well, since Amy, you're the headliner for today, you get to go last. Plugs, issues, concerns, and then I've got a special request of you.
No, I don't have any issues or concerns, but I will tell you I appreciate all of you, and I'm always watching.
I appreciate that.
And I love the information. I love the knowledge. I appreciate what you guys do. And I'm pretty sure most people out there know what I already do. If you need me, call me. You know how to reach me.
Just call
okay,
me,
well,
call me anytime. Call me.
I'm gonna ask Amy to do one thing for me after I finish these program notes.
Okay.
Oh wow, man! I'm trying to get back to my network boss here because I want to make sure I get this right. Okay, on the Logistics Lounge tomorrow, 4 p.m. we have Brandon Carpenter is the headlining guest. Be sure to check that out. He and Pedro are going to be yucking it up on the Logistics Lounge. On Thursday here on the Lounge Media Group Network, we have the Road Dog Coffee podcast at 9 a.m. Central. Be sure to check that out. There's a whole bunch of us that hang out there all the time. Drink coffee, talk trucking. It's usually a lot of fun, but it is also a lot of dudes. Now, if you're looking for a change of pace, you can always go to Kiss This Media, where Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we do our morning show at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to check that out. That's myself, Shimmy, and Kevin. And if you have not gotten a morning cup of Shimmy before, you need to check it out. It's an interesting time.
Shimmy.
And special thanks to Michelle, who often comes out and helps us out, especially when Miss Shimmy needs to take the day off. So she's done it twice now. We this is our 3rd week we're going into, and you've done it twice. So love it. So be sure to check that out Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings on Kiss This Media. In the meantime, folks, ladies and gentlemen, your check is on the table. Be sure to tip out your server. And before we send you all out for the day, we have one question of Amy. Amy,
Sure.
Could you take us out singing Ladies Night?
Oh my gosh, Jared. This is Ladies Night and I feel.
Please be sure to like and subscribe to all of our social media, and be sure to visit our merch store at vigilanttransport.com. Until next time, don't let scammers take you for a ride.